Hello, everybody, and happy Memorial Day. Although it feels very, very, very weird to say happy Memorial Day or that we're celebrating Memorial Day, because it is a very somber holiday and it does mean quite a bit to me personally. I don't know how many folks we will have in the chat here tonight because I know there are a lot of folks going live, in particular in our little group, in our little community. I know of 3 folks going live right now. I don't know if Elisa is live with her Monday mood check, but I do know that she does have the Monday mood check at 7 o'clock. Normally, we release a video around 6 p.m. Eastern time every Monday. But since it's just been me and the boys here at home all weekend, we didn't go anywhere. We just hung in. They just wanted to have time here at the house with school being over. They wanted time to play with their friends, with online games and stuff like that. So I just hung here with him. So we didn't go anything and do anything vlog worthy. And if I tried to do a home vlog, that would have been really boring. Again, because that would have been great if Jess was here with me. But for those of you that attended the live last night, you know she is not. So that's why I threw it out there on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook to see if folks would come to a live stream. And it looks like many of y'all are joining me. So I appreciate that. I hoped to do it late enough in the day that folks might be done with their various get-togethers and whatever they did eating wise. But we all know, in addition to me, and I did pin it at the top, if you guys haven't noticed it all yet when you came in, Ron is live now too. Ron thought he was going live at 7 Central Time. I thought he was going live at 7 Central Time, 8 my time, so I could finish and then go catch Ron, because I hate not being on for Ron's live. I've even popped on there surprisingly to join him before, but I love being in the chat live making fun of Ron. So it's weird to know that I'm going to have to catch the replay on something that Ron is doing. So I hate that. But the link is still up there. I left it up there. So if you got 2 devices and you want to run me and Ron side by side against each other, battling on your tablets or your television, there's no other way that we'd like it. I do have him actually on my TV over in the background. I turned him on mute, which is how anybody should watch Ron, is on mute. But anyway, he's on the TV in there, running to help him get some watch hours. And then I will, as soon as he's finished, I'm going to go and watch the replay, and I'll be #team replay. But even before I could get the pin in there, Scott came in. Scott was first. Scott gets some bragging rights, not a lot, but he beat everybody, which never happens. But Scott made it in to be the first to call me out and call me Webster. And then he was followed very shortly after by Danny Dizzle, the best supporter out there on her big quest of getting 1,000 subscribers, the same one that we are on. She's just a little closer than we are, which is awesome. And then just like I did last night, I put my buddy Drew's brand new channel, put his link in there for y'all to check him out and subscribe to him. He doesn't have much on there yet, but he will, and he's going to be great when he starts putting content out. So I hope that you guys will give him a chance and check him out. Let me get through all this stuff. Me and Danny going back and forth with about Ron. So Danny says Alicia isn't on tonight. Okay. Well, that's one less person. Then it's just me and Ron, 2 heavyweights going head to head there. So Cam Fam is here. Welcome in, guys. I don't know who all is watching, if it's Mitch, if it's Taryn, if it's everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I really enjoyed y'all's premiere this morning. I do plan on going back and watching more of your Vacation on the Dream. Really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the fact that you guys let the girls film some as well, and really take part in it. We've done some stuff like that on our trips before. Typically, it's Ty, the younger one, that takes over, and we call it Ty Tube when he's on camera. But we'll show things from his perspective and things like that. But it's awesome, and I'm so glad that we've connected. I really enjoy what you guys put out there and what y'all have to offer, and the fact that we just seem, our families just seem so similar. You've got that your two oldest girls are right there with my two oldest boys in age, so it's just awesome. Tanya's here. Hey, Tanya, welcome in. Appreciate you joining me. Appreciate it a lot here. And then Liz is here. Hey, Liz. Hope you had a great Memorial Day. Yep, Cam fam, don't blame you a bit. If it was me, I'd be back and forth too. I would have somebody on my TV, and I would have somebody on a phone, and then whoever's on the TV, I'd take one of the boys' iPads or maybe even Chad's phone, and that way I could be in the chat on both as well. I'd have to do that, which would work on a day like today where Jess isn't here, and she wouldn't be mad at me for taking over the TV. And so normally she would be fine watching whatever it is or whoever we're watching. CFL is here. Welcome in, Tiffany. Welcome in. They were over in Tuber Chat with me and a bunch of other folks earlier. Kevin with Tuber Chat went live at 6 o'clock. So I spent my first hour over there. I owe a lot of my growth to Kevin's channel and all the connections and people that I've met there. And so I really, really try to get over there as much as I can. When I can afford it, I'm going to become a member over there because I've got so many memberships right now. Got me on the big tube. Oh, good for you, Tanya. You going on a cruise? Where are you going? That's super exciting. I don't like picturing myself on somebody's big screen, or I've watched our previous premieres and stuff like that on the TV, but I can't imagine me live on a TV. I don't know. I watch everybody else live on a TV, but just not myself. Mona's here. Hey, Mona, welcome in. Appreciate you ending your day with us. Liz, Ron says I'm a woodlicker. We know who's a woodlicker. Ron's a woodlicker. Or Scott, take your pick. They just like two different kinds of wood. So, or maybe they don't. Look, Ron is so busy with his live, he could still come in the chat and say woodlicker, and it's going to see. Again, for those of y'all that missed it last night, I put in some Nightbot sheets here. So we got hashtag woodlicker, which asks you who let Ron or Scott in the chat, since they are the most likely ones to hashtag woodlicker. Mandy Smith, welcome in, Mandy, my neighbor. For those of y'all, again, that tuned in last night to the Nerd Turd, which hopefully that's a one and done thing. But on the Nerd Herd last night, we trying to get Mandy, or no, it wasn't on my live. It was on somebody's live, trying to get Mandy to go on the Ungroup cruise. If any of y'all in the chat want to put the details of the Ungroup cruise in there, you can. And so Mandy and I started the conversation today about talking about flights and stuff, because we want to make sure that she can feel comfortable and she can join me and Jess and the boys on the same flight down there and figure it out, because we'll definitely go the day before. Tanya's going to Greece. That is awesome. I have a couple friends that have been to Greece. That is one that I've never been to before. Been to several different places in Europe. We had planned to go to Greece one time, but the time that we did was about the time their economy collapsed. And so we decided this is not going to be a good time for us to go to Greece. So at that point, we decided, all right, we're not going to go to Greece. We're going to figure out something different. I did, just as an aside, I was checking my phone. Jess just texted me. She's at the airport. Her flight leaves in about an hour and 15, an hour 20. I sent her the link to the live. So she was watching. She may hop back on. So, if y'all want to say hi to Jess in the chat, maybe she'll see it. Don't know. She doesn't normally watch me when I go live, whether it be this or the Nerd Herd. She'll just listen from the couch. Hey, Chris, welcome in. Glad you could join us or join me. I'm used to it being the Nerd Herd. I'm not used to being by myself. Thanks for joining me here tonight with this Memorial Day Live. CNS Travel is in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. Scott hitting up hashtag Woodlicker and getting his own message. So now both Scott and Ron have shown up and did that. And so here, for those of y'all that did not see it and maybe you missed it, Liz figured out the final hashtag that I said in there last night of hashtag Scott's fault. And that'll bring up, this wonderful message here that when something goes wrong or if you're feeling tired, just blame Scott, because that's what the rest of us do. We just blame Scott. My dad is in the house. Hey, Dad, welcome in. I actually got to do something this morning for my dad, which is really, really, really neat. He gave it to me a couple weeks ago to figure out for him. And basically what it was he found an app and he found some headphones that will translate almost any language in the world for you. Like you've got to have the app open and the headphones on, but it'll either record the conversation, or if you're talking to somebody, it'll pick that up and it'll translate it on the phone and in your ears. Super, super, super cool. He wanted to do that because the nursing home where he and my mom are, most of the workers there, I believe, are from the Caribbean. So many of them can speak French, Haitian, several different languages like that. And he, still being young and having a good mind, he wanted to be able to converse with them in their native language. So he got this so that they could just talk to him in their native tongue. And I think that's cool. So I can't wait to show him that. Liz just sent me this picture. I'm going to show you guys. I approve this. This is great. This is what everybody should do. Let me see if I'm going to download it and make it bigger so that y'all can all see it. Go ahead, Liz. I know that you want to do something in the chat with me saying make it bigger, so feel free. But I approve of this message. She's got me and she's got Ron and Darlene on the TV at the same time. Got us both on different laptops. We appreciate it. I wouldn't have it any other way since Ron and I are bad at scheduling. So Scott is having a great time with hashtag Woodlicker. No surprise whatsoever there. He's going to be doing that quite a bit. So Scott's like, doesn't take much to get Scott amused. So I figured he would enjoy that. I do need to add some more of those hashtags into Nightbot, because y'all had some really good ones last night when you were trying to guess and figure out what the hashtag was. I enjoyed that. That was a good bit of laughs for me prior to things going off the rails with Nerd Turd and hashtag poop in a box and everything else that Jason brought to the table last night. That was crazy. So there are a few things, since the chat has died down, that I want to talk about and I wanted to bring up, because this is Memorial Day, and I did say that this is a Memorial Day Live and reflection. And I may sound like, the old man yelling at the cloud, the get off my lawn old guy with this. But one of my big pet peeves has always been the folks mistaking Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Really, really, really easy to do, and I don't blame people that do it. It happens a lot. Veterans Day is November 11th. every year. It happens on what is known as Armistice Day, because November 11th was the day that the peace treaty was signed to end World War I. And that's why we chose that date to honor our veterans. It also happens to be Chad's birthday, so it's really easy to remember when Veterans Day is, at least in our house. So it's November 11th every year. That doesn't change. So it's a different day of the week every year. That is to honor our veterans that are currently serving or have served. Memorial Day today, more of a somber holiday where we are celebrating those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Those that not only served, but passed away in the line of duty for giving, again, like I said, the ultimate sacrifice to their country. So do I think it's wrong for you to honor the veterans or thank the veterans on Memorial Day? No, not at all. That's great. I think you should thank veterans every day for their service. There's no wrong time to thank a veteran for what they do. But just know that today is more about honoring those that we can no longer thank in person for their service. We can just remember what they did. I did not serve. My parents, neither one served. My grandfather, who is no longer with us on the Coker side, served in Korea, served in the Korean War. He did not die in action. And we were blessed that way. I would not be here if that had happened. And then on my mother's side of the family, my great grandfather served in the military and was part of the European forces of World War II. He did not participate in D-Day, but he was part of the group that went in after D-Day and we had retaken France. And he was part of the group pushing the German army from France back towards Germany. He too did not lose his life in combat. He was able to come back. But again, just for the record, just that's what today is about. And I don't know, again, if my wife is in here. For those of y'all that know, Jess is in New York, and she got to visit two incredible places today in New York that I have never been to. She went to Ellis Island and got to see the Statue of Liberty up close. When I went to New York back in 2003, I saw the statue from a distance, but we didn't actually take the ferry to Ellis Island. And then she also spent a good bit of her afternoon at One World Trade Center and got to be around the 9/11 memorial there. Again, when I went, it was still very much ground zero. They had not built the memorial yet. So I thought that was, with today being as somber as it is, don't know if you could have picked a better day to do both of those things with what they mean for our country. So a couple more folks have made it in. Mr. Bill, welcome in, Mr. Bill. Appreciate you being here. Bud Files, hey, Sue, I'm assuming that is you there. Welcome in, welcome in. We've got Mona and CNS saying hi to Mr. Bill. Eddie, welcome in, Eddie. Eddie was live for a long time this morning. I got to hop on there with when it was Eddie and Denise, and I think that was after the Conscious Cruiser with Scott and Sensei Chet. Hopped on over to Eddie. Thought it was weird Eddie wasn't doing a live with Cheryl and Jeremy, but Jeremy and Cheryl were live. Crazy day. Everybody's going live today, all day long. Remember, Ron's live right now, so turn Ron on too. Have me and Ron yelling at each other beside yourself, and you'll have a headache in 5 minutes. I guarantee it. But welcome in, Eddie. You've been enjoying this awful weather we've been having here in Georgia as well. And I looked at the forecast today because I was hoping to take the boys to Six Flags at some point this week. We got our season passes renewed. We want to go to Six Flags, but they're calling for thunderstorms every day this week here in Georgia. So don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. they're excited because they're going to be doing like a spend the night get together with one of their best friends for a couple days, one day here, one day there. So if we don't get it, then if we don't get Six Flags in this week, no big deal. It'll happen next week. Cheddar, that is for not my cat. I know that's not for my cat. That is for Eddie because he loves cheese. So Eddie is Cheddar, so I'm going to have to get used to that. Cheddar is somewhere around here. He might be shut up in the bathroom right now. That's what happens. Look, there's Scott saying not to be confused with my cat. You know, Cheddar always makes an appearance in these lives because that weird cat has some affection to any laptop. He feels like he's got to sit right here on the keyboard. Don't know why. But like if I left the laptop open and went away to the bathroom or the kitchen and he was out, he would be here when I came back. But I'm pretty sure the fact that he's not in here means he's shut away somewhere. And that's usually because he's bothered Chad or Ty and they've had enough and they put him up. All right. Scott had to give you an extra long one, Mr. Bill. So I bet he'll save that for you on Wednesday as well. But it is Scott. So Scott says he is doing that right now. I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm assuming you're watching me and Ron right now, but not 100% sure. Yes, Lady Liberty, Eddie. She is going to put out a post at some point of all her pictures on Facebook. And when she does, I'm going to share them on the Coker Cultural, blah. Even my own channel's name is getting me tongue-tied, on our social media pages, on Instagram, on the Facebook page. And I'll share some on Twitter. You can only share 4 photos on Twitter. But I'll share that. If y'all haven't hooked up with me on Instagram or the Facebook page, please do so. Eddie was live for 4 hours this morning. I don't know how you do it, Eddie. Now, I was watching lives for 4 hours and I was participating this way. But I don't know if I could be live for 4 hours. First of all, Jess would get annoyed. She would get tired of hearing me talk. And maybe that's why Alice was in the other room. But good for you, man. That's quite a way to spend the holiday there. But anyway, Jess is at the airport. She's coming home tonight. We all know I have trouble staying awake. I am going to do my best to stay awake tonight to greet her when she gets home because, bless her, she is going to work tomorrow. That was kind of the reason why she's coming back today, because she could not get off work tomorrow and Wednesday, which is when her friends are coming back that went with her on Wednesday. So she's coming back tonight and going straight to work. So she's going to be tired. So I'm going to try to do my very best to stay up and greet her, because if I don't, then I won't see her until tomorrow night. And I am ready for her to be home. All joking aside, I know that I've been saying it's a boys' weekend and we've been going crazy and stuff. We have not. I mean, I've watched a whole lot of YouTube, gotten caught up on a whole lot of YouTube, popped in lives, and the boys have just played video games. And, you know, I've fed them and kept them breathing and alive and showered. So we're doing good. Anyway, something else that I wanted to talk about today. I don't know if they are still in here or if they are double screening with me and Ron, but CamFam had a fantastic live last night after the Nerd Herd. They were only planning on going on for an hour, I think, like the rest of us, but I know it went at least an hour and a half, if not close to 2 hours. I think because they were just enjoying everybody's conversation. I missed, I think, the last 10 minutes or so because Jess called, and it took away my attention from the live. But she had gotten pulled in to a street performance. And for those of you guys that are familiar with Jess, she hates any and all attention on herself. So she was mortified to be pulled into this. And she didn't have to do anything, but just being the center of attention for a little bit was crazy. So that's why I had to hop out of the Cam Fam live. But what I wanted to talk about from their live last night, again, a lot of talk about cruising, and they were specifically asking about Disney cruises. And this is actually one area where I feel like we know quite a bit, because while we haven't done a ton of cruising, we're no Scott, we're no Captain Scott, we're no Chris and Liz. We've only done 4 cruises to this point. 3 of those 4 have been Disney. The very first cruise that we did was a short little 3-night, I think it was a 3-night, maybe a 4-day, 3-night cruise to Disney's private island. We went on the Disney Dream, which is one of the older ships compared to what they've got in the fleet. And that was back in 2018, I think. 2017, 2018, something like that. And then the same year, the very same year, because we caught that bug, we went on that first cruise, 3 days, nowhere near long enough. And we're like, we got to get back on another cruise. So we booked another cruise. And this next cruise was Alaska, which bucket list. And I know some people are lucky enough to sail Alaska much or a lot. Yeah, we went once and it was very expensive, mainly because we did Disney. But we were on the Disney Wonder. That was a week-long cruise. We had to fly from here in Atlanta to Toronto, and then we flew from Toronto to Vancouver. And then we were on the Wonder for a week and had to make that same trip back home of Vancouver to Toronto to Atlanta. So there wasn't a direct flight that we could take from here to Vancouver. And we did that with Chad, who at the time was probably 5 or 6. No, it's 6. He was 6 or 7. Ty was a little over 2. So I think it was 2017. And then after that cruise, we didn't go on another cruise till after the pandemic. And that was our Halloween on the High Seas Disney Fantasy Cruise that we did in 2023. We had the channel by that point. So there is a full playlist on our side, our channel of that particular trip. So if you haven't seen that, it's a really good one. I know the Cam Fam started it last night because Mitch and Taryn commented on it earlier today. So I just warning you ahead of time, if you are Disney fans and your girls, especially Kevin, she's at that age where I'm sure she's big Disney, y'all might get hooked. One thing that I can say about Disney right now is with the boys being 13 and pretty much 10. Ty'll turn 10 in like 2 weeks. So he's 10. Mentally, he's probably 11. That kid, don't get me started. But they don't need Disney anymore. With Disney, you're paying for the Disney experience, okay, which is top notch. You're going to get great service with Disney. It's got that name. It's got the brand. You're getting the characters. You're getting Disney-related events. Ship-wise, there's a lot of comparisons to be made between the other major cruise lines. So it's really the Disney experience, quote unquote, that you're paying for. And the private island, to be honest, I know Disney has a new private island. We've never been. We've only been to Castaway Cay. And we did Royal this past year. We did Utopia of the Seas. And so we went to Coco Cay. Coco Key. So easy to do. Why do they spell it that way and pronounce it? Never mind. So Coco Key, and Coco Key is way better than Castaway Key. So Royal's private island beats the heck out of Disney's first private island. Can't speak to the new one because we haven't been. But if that's a sticking point for you, I will say that. But it was really cool. The excursions in Alaska, I will say, very expensive, very pricey compared to doing excursions other places. But if you have any specific Disney-related cruise questions, drop those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. I want to hit back into the chat, see what we've got since I've been talking. So CamFam jumped right back in right as I started talking about Disney. So y'all could not have picked a better time. I hope you heard that stuff. And if you guys have any specific Disney-related questions, let me know. Like I said, I don't think we have to have it anymore simply because the boys don't have to have the characters. I'd still like to go on the Wish to see the Marvel restaurant, and I'd like to go on the Treasure and see the Haunted Mansion parlor. But I'm not dying to do any of those things right now. I just want to get back on a cruise. So I'm thrilled that we're doing Royal. Brand new ship for Royal that we're going to be on in September. And for the first time ever, we're not going with anybody else. It's just the 4 Coker families. Every single cruise that we've done before this, we've gone with other people. So this will be the first Coker only cruise. So we won't have to, we'll be able to do what we want, when we want, all the time on there. So really interesting to see how that's going to be. Ron hopping in again. Ron, I love you, but focus on your life. I don't know how you're doing it. Maybe it's because Darlene is there with you and we know that she can carry everything herself. But I wouldn't be able to keep up with doing this live and watching you at the same time. So that's why I'm doing replay there. Tanya, I missed your stuff. I know you got back to your phone and you talked about the Statue of Liberty a little bit. And I think I missed that. Yeah, because Scott talked about almost being 2 hours. That's crazy that y'all visited the Statue of Liberty that much. Ground Zero made me cry too. In 2003, like I said, when I went, very, very emotional. There have only been, I've traveled a lot internationally and gotten to see some of the coolest places in Europe and the United States. And I will say there's only been one place that I've been that made me more emotional being there than when I was at Ground Zero. And that was 2019. We went to France. We did a World War II tour of France, and I got to visit Normandy, and we were on the beaches of Normandy, and to see the beach and to know everything that happened there at that location and the memorial they have set up, I was bawling, overwhelmed. CamFam says, Ron is busy debating if he should wrap his butt. You mean to tell me he cooked that whole pork butt and they didn't eat it all? And he didn't invite any of us over there to partake in it, so he's got leftovers? Come on, Ron. Oh, Ron. Yeah, you better wrap it. It's very important to wrap your butt. Rough ages to be flying. You have no, well, you do have an idea because you've got a 5-year-old, so you've probably done it. Chad was good for those flights. He was at the age where he could be distracted with a tablet or listening to music or things like that. It was rough with Ty, especially because I think those might have been his first flight. Tanya says, I have a few offers to sail Alaska, Carnival, and Celebrity, trying to decide which to go on. I can't speak to either one of those. I know that Chris and Liz and Scott would probably have a strong opinion one way or the other there. My thing is, look at the itineraries, see if they're going to the same places, because you want to go to Ketchikan, you want to go to Skagway, and you want to go to Juneau for sure as 3 of your port stops. If they're missing one of those and the other one has it, I say go on the one that has them all. Yep, Chris and Liz are going to Alaska next year. I know Scott's gone a couple times and probably itching to go back. Starting to watch that one. Taryn was excited. Yeah, I hope it, guys, I would watch that without the girls, because if you watch those Disney cruise videos with the girls, you've got no hope. You're gonna go, because they are gonna want to go. I have zero doubts about that, because I will say the one thing Disney does fantastically are the kids clubs. The kids clubs are incredible for every level. The boys never wanted to leave the kids clubs. I know this is why Chris and Liz are so anti-Disney, because there's no casino whatsoever. That we don't all know, but those of y'all that y'all know me, I don't gamble. So casino's never been a big deal for me. When we go on the ungroup, unhinged, unmatched, whatever cruise in 2027, I will hang with everybody in the casino. I will do some gambling. Oh my gosh, I will. You won't have to force me, because I just know that's where everybody's going to be. But that's just not me. It's not something I need. And then I know Chris is like, no kid, too many kids. There are a lot of kids on Disney. Probably a lot more than anything else. Yeah. What are you going to do at night? You're going to eat, and the shows on Disney are what you would expect. You know, they are fantastic. They are Broadway level. There are tons of adult only trivia and clubs and bars and games. There's plenty to do at night on the Disney ships. You just won't gamble. And y'all connect with the Cam Fam. If you haven't, please go there, go watch them. They've got a great show. They do some incredible vlogs. They definitely deserve to have more than the 500 or so subscribers that they have right now. And I am so glad that I've been able to connect with them here over the last week. So, because I'm going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Binging. I'm going to be binging some Cam Fam over the course of the next week for sure. Watching the first one, are all the kids intermixed with 3 or 12? There is a big section of the kids club where you do have all those ages in there, but they have age specific activities. Nobody is restricted from any of the locations in the 2 different parts of the kids club there, but they are all in there together for those ages. The teens do have their own separate club, but yeah, everybody else is in there together. Danny's still channel hopping. Cam Fam's still cooking. What are y'all cooking? Because I know you like your meat. Cam Fam's going to Alaska in 2027. Scott misses Alaska. Scott misses all the farts. That's what I heard this morning. Scott was on the fart parade. Yes, I know, Tanya. I know. I don't get. My wife does. Jess loves to lose our money. But see, that's I don't know who. I have always been that way. My parents didn't raise me that way. Like they don't mind gambling, but my mentality was always, I have $20 in my hand. Why do I want to risk losing said $20 when I have the $20? See, we went to Vegas. It was not fun. We did that for our 1-year anniversary, but it's a mentality. It's me. I know it's me. I promise I'm still a lot of fun to hang out with. And I will be good. Stop playing by the book. It's time to let loose. I like letting loose. Webster can party, ladies and gentlemen. All righty. Double A is in the house, the Culture Club. He's been watching Yellowstone, been getting caught up there. No spoilers for Double A. Tanya, the end of the night with drinks. See, that's what Jess and our friends did when we were on Royal. They would end the evening at the casino, and I would help get the kids to bed, and then I'd either go to sleep myself, or I'd go out and get a drink or some of that midnight pizza, or things like that. Hello, Ron. It's good to see you, Ron. Ron just keeps popping in and popping out. Ron is doing better than me. I could not do this. Again, for those of y'all that came in late, I have Ron on the TV in there. So I am technically in Ron's live. I'm just not participating in the chat because I want to be present here with y'all. And I couldn't do that. That's too many hands and too many pots. And I cannot do that. So I am going to go back and watch Ron on the replay. I promise that. So I will make fun of Ron in the replay in the comment section. It's huge, giant. So very, very big. Danny D, I can confirm Ron is multitasking. Oh, looky there. The fam sent Yoda some Marco's pizza. Ron's bribing people. I knew it. Dirty Woodlicker Ron. Ron is amazing for being able to jump while running live. Yes, he is. Here's Liz trying to talk me into gambling because you can win so much more, or I could lose it all. See, there's the two. Hey, Yoda is with me. Cheap and don't gamble. Yeah, Yoda. But Cam Fam, you could turn that 20 into 100. I could, or I could do what happened to you guys in your premiere today and turn. Y'all took, I think, 10 a piece. So y'all took $20 and turned it into $2.50. Denise is in here with Woodlicker. Hey, Denise, did you just wake up, or have you been off today? Because I know you were on earlier and you were tired. How fun am I? I'm a wild and crazy guy. I can be. I promise I am. I don't need to say that. What y'all doing? Got Yoda saying Woodlicker. BFE is in. Hey, BFE, welcome. Double A, been a heathen. Normally watch Tora. Miss Vicky was watching. She and Jorge were watching Tora yesterday, I think. Too many hands in the pots, Scott. Too many hands in the pot. That's right. Yoda caught my awful Trump impression there. It's huge. There we go. Dirty Woodlicker on. That is correct. You'd also be correct if you said it was Scott. Their bankroll wasn't big enough. They didn't put in enough, is what you're saying, Liz. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Correct. Except if it's me, it's just all the time you lose. Sometimes Jess will win, and then she'll go and lose what she wins. We corrupt every. Yes, we do. Yes, Scott, you do have a lot of hands in the pot. What is it? Miss Vicky call it midnight toker, Scott, over there. Steve, Yoda is catching on to all my stuff. The wild and crazy guys with Steve Martin's still around. People should know Steve Martin. Speaking of which, if you watch Only Murders in the Building, that is fantastic. That's one of Jess and my favorites. Oh, Scott, what are you doing there? Oh, wait, what are we waiting on, Scott? What are you going to do? Y'all, it is so quiet in my house right now. I don't know what to do. There have been boys screaming all day long in this house, not at each other, just loudly talking. And right now, silent. The dogs are in the crates so that they wouldn't be clackety clacking all around during the live. Ty is upstairs. Chad is in the game room right over here, and I can't hear anything. It's very, very weird. Martin Short is hosting the new match game. That I might tune in for. Because, again, Only Murders, love, love, love Martin Short. I'll be honest. When that show debuted, I didn't know if I was going to like it because I've never been a fan of Selena Gomez. Just never gotten into anything that she was a part of. She is fantastic on that show. All three of them just knock it out of the park. The Jerk was my favorite. They're angry at these cans. Gotta get away from the cans. Jerk is fantastic. Steve Martin, just in general, is fantastic. That and the Three Caballeros with him and Chevy Chase. And I believe Martin Short's the third of the. Don't jinx what, Cam Fam? What have I jinxed? See, that's what I'm worried about too. When it's quiet, Dad does not respond. You're right. Dad does not. They'll be yelling at each other. Dad, nope, don't want to hear it. That's about right. Oh, Scott, what are you laughing at now? Did Ron say something? Y'all got to remember, I cannot keep up with Ron. Let's see here. Did he? Okay, I've got nothing on my phone. Oh, don't jinx my peace and quiet. Yeah, I should know better, right? What'll happen is I'll get off this live at 8 o'clock. Somehow they will know mentally, be like telepathy or osmosis. They're just going to know that I'm not live anymore. And then they're going to go yelling and things like that. And I'm not going to be able to pay attention to Ron's live. Hopping to see what Ron is up to. Yes, come back. Please let me know. Y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. I appreciate it if you have. But help the algorithm there and help us continue to grow as we try to get to 1,000. As much as I love, the subscriber numbers and really it's supporter numbers going up, more so than just people hitting the subscribe. And I love that. I love the fact that continuing to build the community here. Watch hours is what I'm going to be hurting on and what I'm going to need. If you haven't seen it already, I'll bring attention to it again here. I have Ron's live pinned at the top of the chat. So if you want to double fist your technologies and have me in one hand and Ron in the other hand, I approve. So go ahead and do that. Have me up, have Ron up, participate back and forth, trash talk back and forth. We would not have it any other way. Of course, we would love to have scheduled it right to where we could be in each other's lives. He's obviously in mine. I'm not as good at multitasking. I may be smart. I may be Webster, but I can't do that. And then for those of you that came in late and missed this earlier, please check out my buddy Drew's channel. He's got around 70 subs already, I think. And I'm sure many of those were you guys that went over after the Nerd Herd last night and subscribed to him. But he's going to be putting out some awesome stuff. I just know it. And so you can head over there, subscribe, comment on that intro video, and let him know that you found the channel through me or the Nerd Herd. Either one does not matter. Let's see here. What do we got going on? Let's see. Scrolling up. Denise, yes, I've got 915 subs. I gained a couple more in Tuber chat earlier tonight with Kevin. A lot of that to Tuber chat and meeting folks and adding to the community there. I'm not saying anything, Ron. I'm actually being nice to you. I promise. People can vouch. I haven't said anything bad. Double dipping. What a guy. You must be talking about Ron. Well, we got double A because we've all got some S&M people coming over. And I said, oh, great. Spaniards and Mex. Yep. So I love Steve Martin. Yes, I did, Miss Tanya. Yes, I did. All right. Thank you so much, Cam Fam. I appreciate it. We have had a goal of hitting 1,000 for the last 2 years. We hit 500 October of 23, and then it was very, very, very slow growth for about a year. And then it really, once I found this community of CCA, Scott and Denise and everybody else, it's just been continued growth. That and me just being consistent with getting videos out twice a week and then starting the lives. It's really, really helped grow. One thing I will say, Cam Fam, for you guys that I thought about today that I think would help y'all grow, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. But from what I found, I don't think you guys have any other social media other than the YouTube page, because I could not find y'all on Facebook or Instagram. And I've looked on Twitter too, and very, very, very few people use Twitter. I've just been on there forever, and so I still kind of throw out information, but that I mainly use that for talking to folks. Facebook and Instagram are really where I try to promote the channel, promote the page, and make the connections. Instagram in particular has been huge as far as messaging channels back and forth. So I think if y'all would look into, I think if y'all looked into doing an Instagram page, it could be really beneficial for you guys. Yeah. And, I wouldn't let the kids on there. Obviously, I'm very much anti-social media for kids just because being a teacher in the school system, I see the negatives there. But, if it's controlled by y'all, you're not going to have an issue there. Y'all don't, Liz says, we don't have a twatter. That is correct. I don't think some people may have a twatter, but I have a Twitter. Danny's at 979, folks. We got to make that push. Danny is super, super duper close. Okay. And we all know anybody in this community would tell you nobody deserves to hit milestones more than Danny deserves to hit milestones because of all she does for all of us. I mean, who else is a mod in just about everybody's live streams? I don't know of anybody. And, we've seen what Danny Bot can do. She's much better than Nightbot in some cases, except when she gets distracted and then Liz does stuff or Liz beats her to it. But Liz has already hit those milestones, so we need to get Danny there. I keep trying to pop over to the Instagram and check over there because I know every now and then we'll have something. Not sure anti-social media is all that great for grown-ups. There are pluses and minuses without a doubt to social media. I have seen the bad side of social media, but I've kind of taken some steps back from what I used to do, and now I really just use it to promote the channel. I'll share big news and things like that, but all my social media, with the exception of my personal Facebook page, is just devoted to the channel, sharing our videos and trying to bring attention to our lives. Another thing that I wanted to say, and I said it last night in the Nerd Herd, and so I want to say it here since I don't have Ascalon or Jason here as well, so I can spend a little more time with it, is my community closings. For those of y'all that have seen that video and you're interested, just let me know. I mean, I don't mind reaching out and asking people to do them, but I also don't want to put anything extra on your plate, because I know we're all busy. But if it's something you're interested in, just let me know. It doesn't have to be long. The shortest one that I've received is 15 seconds. The longest one that I've received, and this is no surprise, I'm sure, is Jason's, and it's a little over 3 minutes. And y'all know how long he can talk. So it's probably good he reined it in for 3 minutes. But for those of you that have no clue what I'm talking about, I got this idea back in October, November of last year. I wanted to find a way of giving back to the community, the YouTube community that I've found and become very much a part of. And so I got this idea of community closings, and I got it from something that the trackers, for those of you familiar with the Tim Tracker on YouTube, they are Central Florida, Orlando-based YouTubers, have a very big following. They used to close videos with subscribers that they'd see in the park or things like that. Subscribers would just introduce themselves, and then they would throw out the tracker's catchphrase of, now it's time to pay the price. And that's how the video would end. Well, I got the idea of, what if I did that, but instead of it just being subscribers or get people, because we're small, we're not going to run into subscribers everywhere we go. I was like, what if I give that opportunity to the channels in the community? And so I reached out to my friends with channels and said, hey, would you like to film something short to put on the end of one of my videos so that we can try to bring more people to you? If they've never heard of your channel, they've never seen your channel, you can promote your own channel at the end of my video. And it's something that I think is caught on and a lot of people like. It brings different folks, because I feel like I'm blessed that I am not just in a niche little corner, that we do so much. And that was one thing that people told me when I first started this channel, of you're going to have slow growth, because I didn't do just one thing. We weren't just theme park content creators. We weren't just video game streamers. We weren't just talking about one subject, one hobby. We're everywhere. So that's why I've always said, when I personally close, that I feel we have something here for everybody at Coker Culture, because it is a hodgepodge. I know that. That's what I wanted it to be. That's why it's named Coker Culture, because culture is everything. It's beliefs, it's thoughts, it's patterns, it's music, it's everything. And so with the name Coker Culture, it's everything that makes us who we are. It's our purpose. It's what we do. Hence the what's your why. Everything comes together. There's a reason for everything that we do. And so with that, I wanted to be able to offer this opportunity so that you can find folks in the community or the periphery of your community that do things that maybe you haven't looked into. So I have Ascalon, who's purely a gaming channel. He's got a separate channel for vlogs that he and his wife do, but his main channel is gaming. So there's that. I have my buddy Pops, who no longer keeps up with his YouTube channel because he's moved into video game development and creating indie games for people to be able to play. I've gotten one from him. I've got plenty of theme park creators and content creators that I've put out there. And then I have regular vloggers. And so far within the community here itself, I think the only folks I've gotten community closings from so far are Ren from Living Large with Elle Crew. She was one of the first ones to do a community closing for me. And then I got one from Chris and Liz, Carnival Cruise Addicts. And somehow within their minute and a half video, Chris behaved himself, which is hard to believe, but he did. You can go watch it. But if any of y'all are interested, reach out to me, whether it's in my comment section, a Facebook message, an Instagram message. If you want to hear more, if you want to do a community closing for me, you can. I expect zero in return. I said it last night. I'm doing this purely altruistically. I don't expect or want anything from you. You do not have to pay me to be on this channel. I just want to give you an additional platform to help reach more people. Think of it as my way of being able to do a connect and grow type deal. Type of deal. I said it. If you know, you know. But that's my idea. That's how you can connect. And I'll share the channel in the description. I'll share the channel in my Instagram, my Facebook, etc. when I put the video out. So if you're interested, just reach out, because right now I'm just recirculating old community closings because I haven't gotten any new ones. So feel free. I'd be more than happy to let you know, kind of what to expect if you haven't seen it, or what you should try to do. If you want to edit it, you can edit it however you'd like. If you want me to edit it, I'm not the best, but I will certainly do it to keep you from having to worry about it. And then just make sure you do what Nightbot is saying here. Share your channel like Denise did with #NerdHerd. If you want to check out our merchandise, I've got that link in there. Nightbot has shared that. We've got some shirts and some hoodies, 3 different designs, and multiple colors for you to pick from. And anybody that orders a shirt or a hoodie, you automatically will have a magnet and a sticker sent to you as well. Hey, Josiane, welcome in. Glad you could come in here at the end. There goes Scott again. He's just loving the #woodlicker thing. That may have been the worst thing that I did for myself, is give Scott a new toy to play with. But there you go. There you have it. I am going to go ahead and sign off because it has been an hour. And I want to be able to go watch Ron's live since I missed it. I want to be able to track Jess's playing on the phone. And I want to be able to participate some more in Tuber Chat, because I can catch the end of that, and I can catch the after party too. Yeah, I know, Denise. I know he's off. I know Ron's done. I'm wanting to catch the replay. Since I didn't get to see it. I had him on my TV on mute in the background, which is the best way to watch Ron, is on mute. Just saying that. But I want to go watch and see what he got up to. And yeah, Coker Culture hoodie. Originally, it was just T-shirts, but I'm a teacher, and all the kids wear hoodies regardless of the season. And so I was like, well, I need to get some hoodies in the shop. And so there are hoodies in the shop. I don't make a single dollar off any of that merch. That was something that Wolverine Man asked me last night. Our good buddy Mike, the scare actor. I don't make a dime. And the reason for that is kids asked for merch. The boys, their friends, they wanted some Coker Culture merch. I didn't want to make a dime off of it. That was not my intention. I just wanted to provide it. And so what I did, I got with the lady who's a close friend of ours, who had done shirts for the teams that I've coached in the past. And I just said, would you be willing to do this? She said, absolutely. And so she's added the Coker Culture section to her little boutique's website. And so she makes those, and she pretty much just makes them at cost. Or if there's any profit there, it's going to her. There's nothing coming to me or to the family. So we wanted to do that just so folks could have the option to get something as cheap as possible. So if you're interested, like I said, you can visit there. Hey, Ron. Welcome in. Controversial Cruising. Scott needs a hoodie. Scott, I got your shirt, Scott, and I'm going to tell you, it's in my dirty clothes. It's going to be washed, and I'm going to try to wear it, but it's a large, and your boy's an XL. So if I can't fit in it, it'll be a Jess shirt, and it'll probably be a Jess night shirt, which is just funny to think about Jess sporting the Controversial Cruising shirt. Denise, did you burn yourself? I hope you're okay. At least you're a nurse, so you know what to do if you did burn yourself. Floaty Bodie is in the house. Scott, yeah, not $1. I don't see a single cent. That's why, yeah, we'll listen to Ron. Everybody's worried about Denise, as they should be. All right. Okay. So like I said, going to close up shop for tonight. Scott, if you want to think about it that way, you can. I'm definitely not going to say that to my wife. She would never wear it. And I want it to get used. Okay. For real, I'm going to log off. I could be in here all night talking to you guys because I do love it. I don't want to turn into bone in butt and go for almost 2 hours. But I do appreciate y'all keeping me company. I will see what I can do about a Thursday vlog, 6 o'clock. I'm going to try to do a video with Jess. Keep your fingers crossed. See if she'll agree to it. I want her to talk about New York. Won't be live, but I want to see if I can get her on to talk New York. Maybe do a haul of stuff of what she got. But okay, we'll catch you guys later. I'm sure I'll see y'all in some chats going forward. Y'all have a blessed day and a wonderful week. Peace out, guys.